The 8th.
Direction just as quickly as I can.
Anybody else going?
So before we begin, so typically when the mayor's not present, it's the mayor pro tem that conducts the meeting. There is no mayor pro tem, no one's elected. So the rules basically say it can be any board member. Logically, it'd be Councilman Dino. I mean, because he's inexperienced, right? Yeah. So you'll be the presiding officer.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah. I think we're talking to someone who needs to use the. I did well. We're 3 minutes late. I'm already.
Oh, that lady that lost her package. So, nice. Right. A couple of people.
Yeah.
Where's that last?
This is a company. I had the last one.
Oh, you had it last. That's why I didn't bring it. When I saw that blue phone down there, you brought him one.
Gotta go by early. Pick it up. Yeah. Okay, we are. We're going. The only attendees showing are me. So there's no one on. There's no one listening. So we can begin.
Okay. Call the meeting to order. I'm going to ask that Gary do the invocation, and then we'll do the pledge of allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we just want to say thank you, Father, for living in the country we live in, Father, that gives us the ability to do exactly what we're doing right now, Father. And I pray that you would just touch each and every one of these council members, Father, and you just give them direction to see around corners, Father, and to be about your business, Father. We just want to make you proud, Father. We just thank you again. We love you. We praise you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, let's have a roll call. Our name,
Keith Terry, Ward 3 President.
Keith Curry,
Ward 3 President. Gary Watson, Ward 1.
and Bud Maradino, Ward 1. And let's see who's not in attendance. Doug Mullins, Ward 3. Barbara Emmons, Mayor, and Doug Emmons, Ward 2. So we have a forum, so we can have a meeting. Does anybody have any conflict of interest about what we're going to talk about tonight that's on the agenda that you're looking at right now?
Nope.
So if nobody has any conflict of interest, we'll move on.
Financial interest in issues that we talked about or voted on today. Generally, it's
Okay, so now we have the citizens' comments, Dale Darby.
First thing I'd like to bring to y'all's attention, I think quite a few people feel it. I know I do for sure. Like Barbara Emmons, Doug Emmons, and Doug Mullins to step down. They don't have any, I don't have any confidence in them whatsoever. They won't answer the councilman when I ask for answers to my questions. All I get is Barbara ain't talking to us. She's not answering. And Barbara and Doug Emmons have gotten preferential treatment on raising their house. Nobody else got. And they got it first. They should have been last. If you're a councilman and a mayor, you ought to be the last one on the list. Let everybody else get their stuff first. And not to mention this little issue with the signs. That it's not honest. It's very dishonest. They denied it until they found the signs in their garage on their property. So for that matter, I think they should step down voluntarily. If not, I want to see what y'all can do to force them off. And then Doug Emmons and Doug Mullins making their own decisions without bringing it up to us on which streets are going to get fixed. And then this rock that they were supposed to have, they had to have the grass cut because the rock was coming. It's still not here. They need to answer all these questions and not show up. And Drew, you need to give them better counsel because you're not giving them counsel to say that they need to answer to the people that they work for. So quit making excuses for them.
Okay, we'll move on to discussion items. We're not going to do any finance. This is a special meeting, by the way. These other people, nobody was required to come to this meeting. Okay, we're registered with the TML to have a meeting every third Thursday of the month at 6:30. And that's our regular scheduled meeting, and that's the meetings that our council people, mayor, that's the meetings that we're required to attend. You know, of course,
Even on special circumstances?
People have problems, you know, I mean, you miss me because, but anyway, that being said, we want to discuss the, removal of late fees and disconnect fees for December. You know, our water bill's gonna be due around December the 20th, 21st, whatever day it falls on, it gets to be a Monday or whatever, you know, the city offices. So I discussed this with Sabrina, and she said before we had done this in the past, and other places do it also. And really don't want to disconnect anybody's water 2 days or 3 days before Christmas. So, and waive the late fees for the month of December. You know, and that'll only be for that month. It'll just be for that month. It'll be forever that they won't owe that $15 if they're late in December. But if they're late, you know, the next time if they're late, they'll be late. They'll have to the disconnect in the water. Okay, that'll roll on over into January, and then that'll have to be addressed in January by the city. But we're not going to cut anybody's water off right now.
So is this just basically a goodwill deal?
Yeah, I think I just, yeah, I mean, you know, I mean, we're looking at, bills are due on the 20th or 21st or whatever, so depending on what day of the week that falls on, Christmas falls on Sunday, right? So, I mean, you'd be cutting your water off, you know, Wednesday or so before.
So that late fee won't roll over.
No, it won't roll over.
Just past due
The
amount.
past due amount they'll have to pay, but they won't be charged a late fee on their bill if they're 2 days late.
What about the disconnect if that's not paid by January 1st?
The disconnect, we're just saying that we're not gonna disconnect anybody's water. Okay, for December. Now, we'll readdress that, you know, in January. If, you know, that continues on, obviously, you know, we'll have to follow the guidelines that we have and do whatever it is necessary to do.
Is this the first time we've ever done this?
They've done it before out here.
Okay.
I don't remember doing it, last year when I was on council. I don't remember us doing it, but Sabrina brought it up to me and I thought that was a pretty good idea, you know, I mean, gosh, cut somebody's water off on Wednesday or a Thursday or Friday right before Christmas. I mean, how you gonna, you know, nobody's gonna want to come out and turn it back on. There's nobody to pay. There's no, you know, I mean, they're out of water for Christmas. So we don't want to do that.
Councilman, so just a point of clarification. So when you say it rolls over to January, is that January 1st, or is that the next billing cycle that they would do just next?
It doesn't roll over. I said that the late fee is not gonna roll over. Okay, the late fee will not roll over. They're not gonna be charged a late fee.
But if they don't pay, would the disconnect occur in January or at the due date of the bill?
I would say it's the due date of the bill. Because they'll have time.
So the late fees waived, they can pay up to the due date in January.
Pay it. So, all in favor? Or wait a minute, we gotta have a motion.
I make a motion to. I say.
And then is there any more discussion? Okay, then we'll take a vote. All those in favor say aye.
I'm sorry, who made the motion? I apologize.
I did.
That's Mr. Swanson, right? And then second.
Mr. Rock.
He comes here.
Yes, sir. Normally, Sabrina does this, I just realized I had to do it.
Okay.
All right. And it was 4 ayes, right? 4 yeses.
Yes.
And then we have, consideration, discussion, and approval of the rehabilitation of the old fire station and making the office location there so that the trailer can be removed. Okay, a little bit of background on that. The fire station was deemed, at one time it was deemed that we couldn't fix it. It had to be destroyed. And then now it's deemed that it can be repaired. Okay, we toured it the other day, some citizens, a couple of council people. We went through it. It's been professionally cleaned. I mean, it's better shape than my house was, you know, when I went to do it.
I'd like the records to reflect that they never did produce an engineer that said it was condemned. That was strictly the council doing that on their own.
Yeah, that'll have to be researched.
Well, I just want that on the record that that was that way. There was never, I gave them a FOIA request for that, and they've never produced it yet. How many years ago was that, Drew? I gave you that FOIA request.
It's been 3 or 4 years that we've been discussing.
Yeah.
this.
And it's a little bit over the date.
I produced a number of records for your honest, Mr. Nico, at the end appropriate.
Did you ever produce that one? No, you didn't.
To Mr. Nico?
Hmm?
Mr. Nico?
I didn't ask nothing about Nico. I sent in a FOIA request. You never answered it. I have all your correspondence.
I responded.
You answered 2 of the 5. You haven't answered 3 of them.
Mr. Carter, I answered this a number of times.
Okay, well, let's go back to we went through the building. I mean, I'm not cutting you off. I mean,
No, that's good. I just wanted it on the record.
You know, a lot of us have been involved in rebuilding our houses out here because our house is flooded. Or, you know, a lot of people lost everything that they had out here. So we know a little bit about, enough to get us in trouble, I guess, right? But we know a little bit about, you know, sheetrocking and calling people to come do stuff. Okay, and I wanted to see if it would be possible maybe to get a couple of council people to volunteer. I will. I mean, if somebody else wants to be a part of it, or, you know, we can't have 4 people, we can have 3 council people. You know, so they're either, which one of y'all 3, y'all want to discuss which one has time or whatever during the next, before the next council meeting.
Where are we volunteering?
To try to figure out a way maybe to approximately show the city how much it will cost to be able to rehabilitate, to get it to where it's functional again over there, air conditioned, heated, a kitchen, sheetrock, cleaned out, functional room over there. So we can start having our meetings over there. We can start, you know, we can do our regular deal. We can rent the building out. It'll have 2 bathrooms in it. I mean, just, that's what whatever y'all want, whichever one of y'all, I mean, that's what we're here to talk about. So
Yeah, I understand, but I'm not sure I'm really understanding what you're wanting to do. To me, we don't have any idea what the scope of work is that we want to do on that building, other than it's been suggested that we put it back exactly like it was. And I don't know if that's the right thing to do or not. The other thing that we've talked about when we look at it, we don't have any idea what the condition of the facilities are, I mean, the utilities are in, HVAC, and it wouldn't make sense for us to put it back just like it is when there's a lot better technology out there now, like the lighting, but you know, that's kind of my thoughts. I guess what I'm saying is
that needs to be discussed. That's what we're wanting to do. We're wanting to have maybe a few citizens involved in it also, so that they can have input into this also, kind of like just a rolling committee to try to figure out if the HVAC, you know, if the air conditioner and the heater work like they did in my house, okay, all we'll need over there is a thermostat or 2. Okay, so that's what I did.
Probably capacitors on the outside.
Okay, so that's
Good chance.
yeah. So anyway, that all, you know, the technical, the little pieces of that puzzle that we're talking about, that's what we want to try to work out, and maybe try to bring to the city council at our January meeting with some kind of.
you're suggesting that this committee would be able to have some idea what that general concept scope is, and come back with a dollar figure that says, if we put it back like it is, it's gonna cost us X dollars.
If we make it functional.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's some repair work we do on the outside, the doors, saw that. I mean,
So,
you know,
but
Yeah, there's a lot of work.
does the city inspector, can they come out beforehand and say, hey, this electrical's not gonna fly, this isn't gonna fly, and that would sure clear some things up,
Yeah,
because
we'll
ultimately,
need
they
to
have
do
to
that.
inspect.
We'll need to do that.
Okay.
We'll
Well, that ought
need
to
to do
be one of
that.
the
That'll
first
be
things
part
we do.
of, that'll be one of the first things that we do. That's what I'm saying. We need some kind of exchange of ideas from the people and from us to try to figure out what we can do. Because it's been sitting there for 5 or 6 years. Okay. So, I mean, the building's just sitting there. I mean, what are we gonna do? If we're gonna do something, let's try to do it. I mean,
And let's try to do it right.
How many councilmen you gonna have on that?
we can only have 3 councilmen on
How
it.
many citizens?
We can have a dozen.
You should have at least 2.
I believe we should have some citizens, hopefully some volunteer
I'll
to
volunteer.
do.
Well, I think, you know, I think Dale's right, there's the capability you need to be able to do that. It'd be nice if you got somebody that's got a little construction or, you know, project experience, somebody that's got a little,
I'm just in the back of my mind thinking
well,
that
me too.
I can call the guy that's done several houses for us. He'll, at no charge, come out there and tell you about how many sheet, you know, about what you need, okay, material wise. He can get pretty close to how much material you need. We can make a material list. We can send it to a couple of different places. We have people with connections at Lowe's, Ritter.
I don't think that would be, you know, that's pretty much boilerplate kind of stuff. If somebody knows what they're doing. What I'm thinking about is, what are those hidden issues that we don't know about?
Well, that's what we're gonna get inspected.
Are there some improvements that we want to do, or something we want to do better than what's in there now, like a lighting, for example? We don't want those.
I think everybody
The rest
agrees
of
the
the
lighting
two.
needs to be.
We can adjust it, we can, that's why we're trying to form a committee to be able to discuss that, to try to figure that
And
out.
all I'm saying is, whoever's on that committee, what's the skill set that committee needs to possess? Not necessarily who are they, I mean, you may have all the.
Well, I think that part of the skill set is just them being involved in it. That's part of the skill set, them being able to look and being able to see visually and be able to see through what's being discussed and through what's being done, so that there's no question that 2 people got together and decided they were gonna hire this guy over here to come fix this building. That's not what we're wanting to do. You know,
I mean, you know, it's kind of like, one thing, we've already talked about this, Sabrina said that the records they have to be behind double locks.
that's right.
So,
No problem.
you can't just frame in one word, that one existing office like it is, you're gonna have to build a.
We'll build a closet in there. We
Yeah,
discussed
that's
that.
what I'm saying, somebody needs to know that when they go in there, and you know that, I know that.
Yeah,
We all know that.
Yeah, we can we've talked about all the little technical.
I mean, I'm in agreement with the concept of what you're saying, it's just that, just be sure we got the right, charter for what we want those folks to do. And that's basically come back with a cost estimate of what we want that building to look like, so we can get into it and function in a nice, decent building, get out of this church, because we're inconveniencing the church, and do it in a cost-effective manner. Now, the other thing we need to know is how much money we got spent. I'm not a clue.
We don't have a clue. We'll have to find that out at the next meeting.
So I will tell you that I had a couple of conversations with Sabrina, this week, and Sabrina said that there is insurance money allocated to do this work in an account. Because, you know, the mystery account, no one seems to know where the $300,000 is or whatever. We're gonna have to get a bookkeeper to show us.
Yeah.
But she did say that there is monies available to do this.
Well, I knew there was monies available, but I had no clue as to whether it's 10,000 or
Well,
300,000.
That makes a difference on.
She actually said that there is,
The bookkeeper we got under contract right now can't tell y'all what that is?
well,
We're
that's
gonna
fixing to
will
change.
next week, we'll find that out.
Yeah.
Next week.
We're
We're gonna ask those questions.
We're gonna try to change that when we get to that bridge.
This is part of what I was telling you about, that you should be advising them on the council that it's her job to inform us.
Well, I mean, she did.
Not
She
us,
sat right
y'all.
there. She sat right there and put it all on that screen, and it would have taken a Philadelphia lawyer.
It
not
didn't-
a Texas
it
lawyer,
didn't
but
add
a
up.
Philadelphia lawyer to figure that out.
Trevor,
I'm horrible at math.
I mean, I couldn't, I mean,
It didn't add up.
If it went just like this, you know, I mean, we got 7 or 8
I've talked to
accounts.
2 bookkeepers that saw that screenshot. It doesn't add up.
No, I mean, that's
The
just,
funds have been earmarked and put in an account, there's an answer.
Yeah, and it should be.
We just gotta know what it is.
Yeah, the thing that I found out, it's not FEMA money, it's insurance money.
That's correct.
So it's
but
one
we do
of those
have-
buildings and we could use it for anything, now that's my.
I'm just willing to bet that we have enough money to rehabilitate that building in town, fix it back to
We have
where
more.
we can make it functional, and then whatever we do, maybe we can do it in a way to upgrade some things in there also, and we can make it to where that future upgrades can be made. I mean, we don't have to have just a one-stop plan. We can make, like you said, outside, we were talking, you said, you know, maybe we'll have a 5-year plan for that building. But let's get it functional, you know?
Yeah, but I don't know what the protocol this is, all this municipal stuff's new to me, so I'll probably get my notes out.
Doesn't matter.
For the benefit of everybody, what we're talking about is a facility that's about half of that civic center building, that's what it was used for before. And it's got offices, a kitchen, restrooms, and a really nice recreational area that could be rented out, used for this meeting, bigger than, probably about the same size as this. And then,
Little bit
and then
smaller.
that's where the old firehouse was, where there were 3 trucks put in there, that's almost the same amount of square footage. It could be used for yoga room, I don't know. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about.
So just to clarify, and maybe I can answer your questions on the protocol. What I'm hearing, I'm just trying to summarize this. You want to form a committee with 3 or less council members to investigate and provide an initial estimate and recommendation to the council at the next meeting. You form a committee to do that, and citizen participation is open to all.
Yeah.
So a committee, okay.
I mean,
So the protocol.
You said the committee is just 3 council, I thought we said it was going to be a couple of the committee members.
It can be up to 3.
You can't have more than 3.
Can't have more than
I understand that.
You can have more than 3, but anytime y'all get together, we're gonna have to tell everyone.
I was
that
saying
y'all
it's a council, but I'm saying that there's energy out here and there's a lot of knowledge out here that we
We
don't have.
want-
They're unlimited.
They're
It's unlimited.
Yeah,
Unlimited
They-
citizen.
And I'm gonna say this, they don't have to necessarily be on the committee, there's people that aren't here tonight, okay, that may want to have some input into that, they'll be more than welcome to come up there and help, you know, we'll try to go up there maybe a couple of times, you know, and have the people there to look and do this, you know, we're gonna have, we'll have to, I don't mind meeting the inspector up there and letting him go through the building and let him tell us, you know, the wiring's good, you know, we'll get an HVAC guy out there, let him check to see if those things run. We gotta get power cut on, we gotta get water cut on, you know, I mean, we got a lot of stuff to do.
let me ask you this too, is this committee any money?
Not yet.
No, the city can pay the inspector, the city can pay the HVAC person to come out. I mean, we have to find out what we're doing, I mean, so the city's gonna have to pay.
So the way the committees work are they allow the government to start doing boots on the ground work in a way that the 3 or less means they can meet, they can involve whomever. And what they'll do is, because it's an organized, voted on issue, they make recommendations to the council that carry quite a bit of weight, right? It's because it's council members that are involved. And so that recommendation will then, any money spent, be authorized at an open council meeting where the committee discusses its findings, makes its recommendations. The council as a whole, with the citizens present, can tweak it, accept it, deny it, whatever. That's a protocol for what it is. The committee is just it's a blessing and a burden, that on the work that they do, but sometimes their decision making, being on the committee, they have to reach a decision and then make a recommendation to the council, and then the council decides. So the money would be decided in an open meeting.
Well, I can agree with that. Do we need to give that committee a time frame, or, will they just give a flyer?
More than the city council.
Yeah, it sounds like 30 days from now, next week.
Got a good 30 days.
All right, so 3 or less unlimited citizens recommendation at the next regular
3 or less.
3 or less
Less council.
council members, so that y'all can meet without open meetings. Going forward, we can do it, but y'all need to.
No.
Alright, so, that's, so,
So how do we publicize this to get?
We'll have to put it on the city website. We'll get Sabrina to put it out there on the city website so that everybody can see what's going on, word of mouth.
so the,
And then you don't have to, like, you know, I mean, there's people that I'm looking at right now that probably, you know, can help us with this. So, but if you weren't here tonight, okay, let's say you know, for a reason you weren't here, that doesn't mean that you can't come and, you know, I mean, it's gonna be open to the public as far as I'm concerned. Any and everybody that wants to come and throw their 2 cents in, they can come throw it in. Doesn't mean it's gonna get done, but it doesn't mean it's gonna, you know, it's gonna happen like that. But it's, you know, everybody's not gonna be able to have their exact way on everything. I mean, we just need to get something started. So I have time right now during this off season to dedicate a little bit of time to it, and I would like to see that building fixed, you know, back, you know, so it can be functional again for the city, and we can get out of here, get out. We got one person in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a fireplace and a kitchen trailer over there, okay, that's paid for, that the city bought, okay, so once we get this functional over here, that thing can go, okay, so that can be
Some of
sold.
the costs will be offset by the sale of the
There's
building.
a cost offset right there. You know, whatever it is, I don't know, whether it's $5,000 or $100,000.
likely between 9
Prices have gone crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the prices have gone way up. And probably, I'm just guessing, but a lot of this stuff, cars, I know, they're starting to fill these lots up and stuff, so people have gone back to work. I'm just thinking these prices on a lot of this demand is not gonna be like it. You probably get more money for it the faster you sell it, probably the more money you'll get for it. So, I mean, that's just my guess. I mean,
And you know, Bud, in reality, this refurbish is not gonna be that big of a deal. It's really not.
it's not that big of a deal, but I want it to be open to everybody.
Well, sure.
So everybody, I don't wanna be trying to ram my, project over there, cause I'm telling you right now, I get that place fixed over there. I could have it habitable probably in a month.
Yep, or less.
So, but, I mean, it just don't take that long. Trucks, you rock, put in toilets, laboratories, call cabinet guy, come put in cabinets. I mean, they install my cabinets. You know,
All right, we got a motion.
make a motion to,
Form committee.
to form a committee, have volunteers from the city. Y'all can, now, I mean, I'm just saying me, but y'all can all volunteer. Like Drew said, as long as no more than 3 of us show up at one time, which probably won't happen anyway. It'll probably be 2 of us show up, or 1 of us show up, whatever shows up. Some of the city people, whoever can meet down there with the guy. So,
Yes, I have.
if y'all all want to volunteer,
Fun stuff.
if y'all all want to volunteer to be on the committee, then that's fine. If everybody wants to.
Well, we don't have to decide, we don't have to solve that right now. What we've got is,
I need some names to put on there for the city. He needs some names to write down for the city. Mine.
Y'all can all volunteer.
There you go.
I'm just counseling y'all.
I would say we can
3 or less.
process down.
Okay, so everyone present.
Who's making a motion?
Okay?
Okay, and then
You made the motion?
and we've already said, I mean, I know that Jennifer wants to volunteer. I know that my neighbor wants to volunteer. I know that my neighbor. Man, I'm telling you right now, man, I'm like stumbling right now. Okay?
I'll
The
volunteer.
remote control car lady, she can do it, okay? The lady that does the project, her husband,
Every volunteer.
will volunteer. I couldn't remember Aaron's name the other day, and I'm standing there talking to her husband. Anyway, I mean,
Make a motion.
so, I mean, do we need to make a list of citizens, Drew, or?
We do not.
No, okay. Okay, so it's open to everybody, and y'all talk, anybody y'all talk to that wants to do something, Cameron wants to come down there, you know, and look or do something, well, then, great. Do whatever, but, so,
I have enough for what you're suggesting on membership, unlimited citizen, recommendation was the next, we're all volunteering.
everybody, the council volunteering.
So a motion to approve that committee should be presented by someone on the board.
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
Okay, thank you.
All those in favor? Passed unanimous. Okay, and then we have some discussion items, just discussion. Okay, there was a discussion over the procedure of the pre-construction meeting for the road project. I contacted the lady at the LGA Engineering. Okay, she said that they weren't required, that the pre-construction meeting was not required to be open to the public. That's the meeting where they go in and they decide where they're gonna start, what day they're gonna stage their equipment. What Barbara and Doug went to that meeting, okay? Nobody else knew about it that I know of on the council. It wasn't put on the thing. So anyway, so none of the citizens, you know, were able to go because nobody knew about it. Only Barbara and Doug knew about it. So anyway, so they went to the meeting. That's how Barbara was able to tell everybody at the last meeting that have some good news that they're gonna start staging equipment down here on November the such and such, and then they're gonna start the road construction on December the 5th. Okay, so I mean, that's how she knew that. That meeting, all the other meetings that had to do with the roads were everybody went to. Okay, the pre-bid meeting, the bid meeting, opening, those two meetings, those were all, and then all the other meetings that we had here about roads were all, everybody was invited. That was the only meeting that they had that wasn't required by law. Okay, so the law was on their side. They didn't have to let us go to that meeting, so we didn't know anything. So, and I want to get on the record as saying that as far as I know, because I know me, and I was never consulted. I'm a representative from Ward 1, and I was never consulted about any of the road repair, anything. So anybody that your street's not getting fixed, it's not because that I wasn't representing you, because I had no involvement in it at all. No, it's only two people that were involved in it, and those two people right there were the ones that were involved in the discussion of the roads and what was going to be done and how it was going to be done and all that stuff. Ward 1 was completely left out there. So, as far as I know, I don't know, I can't speak for Ms. Botro, she's not here. But I do want everybody to know that so we got that done. Let's see. Agenda request, proof of an ordinance allowing signage in the city right of way, or disallowing signage. It should say disallowing signage in the city right of way instead of allowing. Okay. Years ago, there was a agreement made out here, I guess you would say, by the city council that we wouldn't allow people to put up all these signs lining our streets, okay, about roof washing, power washing, tree cutting, stump grinding, you know, whatever you got, you know, because it was getting to the point where we had so many signs. You get down there to the intersection, there'd be just signs, you know, signs, there's something. But anyway, so we decided that, you know, we would take the signs up that were in the right of way next to the road inside our city, okay? we would take those signs up and put them behind the old fire station or the civic center at that time. The people would come out here looking for their signs. They could go back there and get them. And then, you know, if they wanted to put them back up, we take them back down again. They could go back and get them, but we weren't doing away with any of their property or anything like that. I mean, we're putting their signs back there because those signs cost money. So, I mean, they got the hint that they weren't supposed to put the signs, you know, in the right of way. Now, I did find out that the property, the city of Bevil Oaks ends at the property lines that run parallel to Highway 105. Okay, that becomes DOT property. Okay, that's the DOT right of way. That has nothing to do with the city. City can't do anything. Our police officer couldn't write tickets on 105. I mean, he did, but he shouldn't have been. There's no jurisdiction outside that property line, in front of King's Mark, down the road, down in front of Larry Place. That belongs to the Texas Highway Department. That right of way belongs to the Texas Highway Department. City of Bevil Oaks has no control over that. So any signage that's put out there on Highway 105, City of Bevil Oaks has no control over it. But I'll tell you, if the Department of Public Safety figures that it's a traffic hazard, they'll remove it, or they'll call, you know, the logical thing to do would be call the number on the sign. Say, hey, dude, you know, your sign, you need to come over the sign. You know, I mean, then you can discuss with them whether you want to move it or not. But they can definitely make it safe for everybody. You know, gotta be able to pull out a Dollar General, gotta be able to pull out a gas station, gotta be able to pull out a Botros without, you know, a sign blocking your view of the highway. So, just to clarify that, the city doesn't have anything to do with anything past the property line that the people own on the highway frontage of 105. That does not sit. Now, we do mow that corner right there just to make it look nice where you turn in by the sign. We mow that corner right there by the firecracker stand. And if we didn't, you know, they'd mow it 3 times a year, 4 times, ever how many times they mow it. So, we do mow that. Other than that, I don't think there's any ordinance. We've searched. We've had multiple people searching for an ordinance that says that you can't put signs in the right of way. We had multiple people looking for that ordinance. There is no ordinance. Okay, so it doesn't exist. We did make an ordinance a while back that because people were going door to door during the day, so we made an ordinance or what do they call the other thing? Resolution that if somebody was coming out here and wanted to go door to door, that's fine, but they needed to check in at the office and they needed to show identification. They needed to have a tag that, you know, that way if something came up missing, we knew who those people were. Otherwise, we didn't know who those people were. I mean, I've asked them to go down, you know, they'd be on my street. I'd ask them to go to the stop sign, make a right, go to that office, and she'll write you a thing and give you a permit. And it doesn't cost you anything, and you can go door to door. They go right to that stop sign, make a left, and wouldn't stop, you know, go to 105 and get out of here. Okay, because they did not want to register with the city of Bevil Oaks, you know, air purification test or something, you know, just to get in your house. I mean, we don't need it out here doing that. So, anyhow, there is documented proof of that we do have that ordinance. We do have that ordinance or resolution, whatever that is. So, but as far as a sign resolution, as far as people putting up signs, we don't really have anything other than the good old boy rule that says that, you know, other than real estate signs and political signs or event signs, okay, that other signs about, you know, construction or whatever, you can put them in your front yard if they're on your property. The city can't touch them, okay? But if they're outside your property by the ditch, by the road.
What's the footage on that?
Huh? The footage, as far as what we've been able to find out from the sheriff's department and the DPS, is 20 feet from the roadway, okay, on Highway 105. Okay, the sign that everybody's heard about was 22 feet from the roadway. So, I mean, and it was pulled over, but anyway.
And it was on private property.
It was
Correct.
on, as far as we know, it was on private property, but it really didn't matter after we researched it, because like I said, that, the city of Bevil Oaks has no jurisdiction past the property line anyway. That belongs to the DOT, that belongs to the Texas Highway Department. So, I mean, Bevil Oaks doesn't have any right of way.
There's 3 other signs out there besides that city house.
Well, there's signs out there, I mean, you know, there we go again, signs, there's what signs, so, I mean, yeah, there is signs out there, I mean, I guess they're safe, I don't know, I've never pulled out a boat road before, so I don't go there, but I mean, if I did, and I tried to look this way, that sign at the whatnot shop, what I call it, it's right out to the road, but it's only about that wide, so I don't know if it impairs vision of anybody or not, I don't know. I'm sure if it did, the highway department had something to say about it. So, with that, agenda request, future council involvement request. What is that? Future council involvement request.
I read that out.
She rewrote what I put on here, but
Any involvement on council in the future is open. It's as broad as possible. You discuss whatever you want about anyone's involvement on the council in the future.
oh, we could do that now.
Yes. Yes, you can.
We were doing that now.
No,
I don't know where this came from.
No.
I didn't write it.
it's any topic regarding
I didn't ask for that. Somebody, I mean, it's under me, so I didn't ask for that. I mean, just if you look at my agenda that I wrote up next page, it could be a typo, could be a repetitive thing, whatever. That's something that y'all suggested or something. Read into what I said.
Well, you have the agenda request, anything as broad as possible, any topic whatsoever relating to council involvement.
Your members of council?
Absolutely. It's, the entire city needs to know that you're talking about future council.
Current and future members?
Any involvement in the future, from today on, any involvement whatsoever is open for discussion. Look, it's anything.
In other words, all these people can discuss it, is that what you're saying?
Well, no,
We
the
can
citizen comments are open to the city council.
They can put the motion to remove somebody.
Yes,
What's that?
yes.
Get him to say.
Say that loud there.
Okay, so for the meeting, anything, you have to get notice of the potential for
We gotta be
discussion.
here before you ask.
No, you don't.
Hey.
No, you don't.
Can we make a motion to remove jurisdiction to do one thing and then resign, whatever?
Anytime you
whatever
want.
They don't have to.
What's the comment? Any council member's involvement whatsoever.
Nope, that's fine with me.
It's the broadest possible,
All right,
because
thank you.
you can be super restricted, you can only talk about Bud Bear, you can only talk about Mark Rivers. This is, anyone can talk about anyone who's on the council.
But
Oh, that's what that means.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm talking about Gary Hall.
You certainly can.
Take this down for what we're presenting, we're talking about this.
I don't
Yeah, are
understand.
you talking about in a public forum,
How many days you gotta be here?
this?
Yeah,
Easily.
you can talk about your, this is broadest possible. Anything you wanna say, broadest possible application.
Well, I mean, that didn't have to be on the agenda. I mean, you've always said that everything
It is
has to
on the
be
agenda.
on the agenda.
It's on the agenda, anything you
Are
wanna
you
say.
talking about just for tonight?
No.
We're talking about the whole point.
Anything.
Vote them up.
Anything about anyone on council.
Talk about Emmons and, talk about Emmons, vote them up.
Discuss what
Vote 'em
Mr.
off.
Darby.
You're not limited, there's no constraints.
Wasn't he gave you some issues when he first spoke,
You can talk
that he
about it.
wanted to discuss. Would the council like to discuss Mr.
Darby.
Darby's
Oh.
suggestions
Yeah.
that he gave you?
Oh, okay. We can
Ron is
discuss.
talking, no restrictions,
Yeah, it's fine.
no restrictions.
I get it now.
I can do it, cover the line.
I didn't take.
There's no censorship or handcuffs or restrictions. And everyone in the city knows that the involvement of anyone on council is going to be discussed. I mean, you know, you go really narrow and say you can only talk about certain people. That seems kind of restrictive.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought we did that now. And I didn't put it in my thing, so I don't know.
Don't make me call Elon Musk.
But that's what that
So
means. What he's saying is that phrase on there means it's open-ended. You can discuss anything
Anything
you'd
you
like
want.
to discuss.
Uh,
I know, but what I'm saying is,
Non-restrictive.
I didn't put it in
Okay, so there's
my
nothing,
agenda thing. It's
Okay,
under
that's
my
fine.
name.
okay,
what I'm
is there
saying.
nothing else you'd like to discuss?
No.
Okay, nothing about the future involvement of council members that you possibly have issue with?
You can talk about them
You
now.
can talk about this.
You're definitely allowed to talk.
You have 4 members here.
Well, okay, if you want to, y'all want to get into that.
Trying to get you there, bud.
We're trying
We're pushing.
Okay,
If you want to, you're allowed to.
okay, we covered that the city council has no right, no city council person has any right to go pull up any signs anywhere. It's given by ordinance out here. We don't have the right to do that, okay? We also don't have any right to pull up any signs that are on the highway out there, on Highway 105. The city council, if it's past somebody, well, if it's on their property, you dang sure don't have the right, and then plus if it's past the property line, then that belongs to DOT, so we discussed that. Now, we also, the city council doesn't have, no city council person or mayor has the right to go take somebody's property and put it in their garage, okay? And cause the people to have to call the sheriff's department to come retrieve their, stuff out of their garage. And I think by them denying that at the time, and then it being proved that they did have it, after they denied that they didn't have it, and they also denied that that the council member wasn't home, and then he was home, that I don't see how we can trust those council people to be over
That's what I was talking about.
$2
There's
million
no trust.
project. I mean, I don't see how, if you can't trust them to tell you who's home, and you can't trust them to tell you that they don't have your property when you're looking at it in their garage, and you have to get the sheriff's department out there to get it out of their garage. I think that, I don't see how, I personally, you know, once that happened to me, I mean, I'm pretty much done with trust on stuff. You're gonna be under the Eagle Act as far as I can see. So, I don't know.
So now what?
I don't know, we just discussed it.
That's it?
You know,
Hey, can I ask you?
Y'all both are-
Remove.
Yeah, recall.
Go ahead.
Okay. Can you as council members make a motion, or is it feasible that you can make a motion to remove somebody? Is that something you can do?
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Can we do that tonight?
Yeah.
No.
Why not?
But I mean, can it be done? So this is a process.
If you remove for cause.
Are you sure about that, Drew? Or you just,
Yeah.
It's a
There's-
discussion.
And this is a discussion item to discuss
It's not an action item.
people as
It's a discussion.
resigning, or there's conviction of particular crimes for someone. I believe there's one on appearing at well, if you miss 3 meetings without
Yeah.
excuse.
but they
And
committed a
also,
crime.
I believe, astoundingly, the fact that this was codified by the legislature is pretty surprising. But I think if you appear at a meeting intoxicated, you can be removed.
But if they committed a crime, does it say it has to be a felony? Does it have to be a misdemeanor? What? You're the lawyer. I'm asking you. I don't know.
Right, this.
But I can look it up.
This comes up once every 25 years.
Well,
It's not a, I can report back on that. On the level of crime, it's probably likely a crime of moral
Yes.
turpitude
Stealing,
or a
yes.
felony, yeah.
Let me, my comment on this, I don't know why we're having to deal with this kind of issue. The, couple things, one thing, I'm not condoning, I'm not supporting or what happened, what this individual did, I certainly don't support. The sign he took didn't belong to him,
Yes.
it didn't belong to anybody's on council.
Long.
But he took,
It belonged to a property owner.
the sign, was that your sign?
It was my son and my partner Bradley's sign.
Well, if that was your sign, and you live here,
I own property out here.
You own
you
property.
don't probably have, you don't live here, you don't vote here, right?
Correct.
Okay, but, and I'm not being critical, I'm just trying to get, why do we wanna get into this? The sign was on somebody's property that doesn't live here. Part of it, I don't have much.
No.
The other part, I was on DOT's right away, that, in, the issue should be between him and the
Person that took
It
it.
was 20 not us.
It was, that's why we called the sheriff's
But
department.
the
That's exactly
perpetrator
what.
is
But
already
even
here.
still.
And the sign was on the property.
Why is that, I guess my question is, why is that a Bevil City Council issue?
Because the mayor lied twice.
Well, that's still a moral turpitude issue. It's
And
got
then
anything to do with.
Moral, you put on whatever you wanna say, but when I'm looking at something
Lack
in your
of moral.
garage, your garage door's open, it belongs to me, and you tell me you don't have it, I'm pretty much done with you.
Why is that, what's that got to do with us sitting here right now making decisions on things?
it's got to do with
Because that's-
the
she's our
taxpayers of Bevil
She's our
Oaks
mayor.
telling you that we don't wanna put up with that.
It is an issue.
Well, I'm not saying we won't put up with it.
I mean, I'm representing
The
these people.
other thing too is that before you really get into it, I think you gotta hear all the facts. I don't know the whole deal. I'm not, what I've heard doesn't sound too good, but, there's still,
The fact is, the number on the sign is the owner's son of the property the sign was placed on. Doug Emmons, and when the sheriff's department was there, said the sign had to be 20 feet off the roadway. Sheriff's department said 3 feet. Whatever one, we were 22 feet off the highway.
22 feet is measured by which end?
Tape man,
By tape measure from the edge of the highway to the post,
I would,
To the south, the southernmost post?
to the one
Right.
closest to the highway.
yeah.
That was,
22
so it was 2 feet over.
We were 22 feet back away off the right.
Look, I'm not defending what happened. All I'm trying to say, why do I wanna get involved in this when we've got a building down there restored, we've got roads to rebuild,
And
we
we
got
got-
a water plant that needs to be run right, and we got vacant houses all over this place that are an eyesore to this community.
And
Why
we
do I
haven't,
wanna be involved in that when?
I can answer that.
Stupid.
I can answer that.
we haven't done,
Because this is just one little thing we're bringing up. And the reason we're bringing it up is because all of those issues that you just said haven't been addressed because they dodge all of that stuff. They're too busy worried about trying to get free grants for all kind of free stuff instead of taking care of the things that they have the money to fix and to have the money to start repairs on, roadways, insurance money from the storm. We could have had this building back on its feet a year after the storm. And because we've let them go, and they just keep on doing it, and they get more and more bold every time it happens.
All right, but that's still, you're still saying things that don't have anything to do with a sign that's on somebody else's property or somebody took down that probably would have got.
Well, in the context that I brought it up, it is saying that I have a mayor and other councilmen that aren't here that don't care what anybody says. They're gonna do what they wanna do. That's how this whole thing has gotten blown out of proportion. We need honest councilmen that are willing to talk to the residents here and find out what they think before they go passing all these laws and rules and regulations. Because they don't discuss it with anybody. They just get a whim in their head. That's what we're gonna
I
do.
don't agree, I agree with that principle 100%, don't get me wrong. And what we're doing is we're doing whatever that C is, we're we're getting future council involvement requests, and you're talking about that, but you're talking about a subject different than the sign, that's all I'm talking about.
No, the sign was just bringing that to light.
Okay, well, then talk about the things that are meaningful, if there's something really substantial there.
Nobody's discounting you, saying that there's vacant houses, highways, the building needs to be renovated,
Yeah.
the water bills are high.
Yeah.
We have a water bill, the water's undrinkable at times. Nobody's discounting what you're saying. But when you say, why should I be involved in this? It's because you were elected by some people out there
To
that
represent.
want you, that you're supposed to represent. You're not representing Jim Wright out there. You're representing those people out there.
What I'm hearing you say, if you want me to get rid of,
I'm not saying for you to get rid of him.
no, but I mean, I am representing people. I've been here 2 weeks, I'm doing it.
Well, then you need to get out and ask your people what they think about, ask people in Ward 3 what they
Well,
think
you
about.
know,
Here's a perfect, here's a
that.
perfect example. Putting the sign to the side.
It's the
If you're
principle.
talking about where we're here for tonight is the fire station, the old fire station, and all of that. Where's the mayor? Where's Mullins? Where's Evans? Where they at?
When we went through the station.
And I'm not saying.
No, right now.
Right now.
No, I don't know.
We're talking about.
Yeah, they don't
I
feel
know, I
it's,
know where Doug is, because he had some already planned.
they don't feel it's important enough to come and address this issue tonight.
I believe there was, with the surgery, and,
It's
this was a special meeting,
But it,
not a regular meeting.
but see, it's kind of like the people that go to Washington, they kind of get the idea that they work, that we work for them. That's not how it works. When you vote for somebody into an office, that person sitting up there, they work for the citizens. Those three.
We don't work for y'all, but we do represent you.
Yes, y'all do. That's where the misconception.
That's the way it's supposed to work. That's the way it's supposed to work. You represent us.
Y'all represent us, y'all work for us. We
Bud's
don't
the
work
first one in Ward 1 that actually gives us a voice
Yes,
to y'all.
those three have forgotten that. And they just come and go, well, we might go to this one.
No, this meeting is not, just like Drew said, this meeting is not required for them to be here. Okay, it's a special meeting.
But watch when you try to move forward with the firehouse, which three are gonna try to stop you.
It doesn't matter, well, we're gonna have to find that out, but we have to try to do what we can do. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all we can do.
All I'm
I can't control them.
Is you're trying to push the issue to get a vote, to toss them out on the side. I'm pointing out the obvious. Is they come to the meetings that they feel the need to concern themselves with. If anybody else would call this meeting, like you, Bud, they'd have been here, but they knew what you were calling me, they figured it was gonna be about the sign, so they didn't show up.
Well, that's okay. If the signs issue's still gonna be there in January, they're gonna have to show up sooner or later, and they're gonna get kicked off.
And that's my point, is it shouldn't be about one particular thing. And that's all that's gone on out here for so long, is a bunch of ass grabbing and clown shows, a language, a child in the room, a clown show, instead of being about the city.
Well, that's what we're trying to do.
So the intent now is to change that concept. That's,
And
we have some new blood in here, nothing saying anything about the old blood that was here. But we have some fresh people in here now.
you four are trying, Gary.
We're gonna try.
Y'all
I
are
get all
trying.
that.
And that's our point. We're tired of the no representation
Well,
for the people.
You know, that's, there's a Ward 2 councilman, there's a Ward 3 councilman, and there's 2 Ward 1 councilmen here tonight. So
Right.
every ward out here is represented tonight, okay? We have 2 from each one. If these 2 had surgery, family surgery to go to, I pray for them and I hope everything goes fine, okay? I mean, that's all you can do, okay? I mean,
Yep.
go for it, okay? Now, this one, the other one down here, I don't know why he didn't show up. Maybe he had, I mean, anything could happen. We don't know.
I believe he does.
Huh?
I believe he does.
Yeah, you just don't know what it could be. I mean, I've missed special meetings myself.
My understanding too is that all the meetings for December were canceled as well.
We decided that unless something came up
Correct.
It's exactly what we said. That if something came up, in which this water thing came up, and then the sign came up, and then the rehabilitation of the fire station, I didn't want to wait another month, because sooner or later, hopefully, I'll get busy again, and maybe in March or April. So right now I have time.
Yeah, and not only that, we sit on this fire station issue for another month. We're a month behind. We can go ahead and get everything started right now as far as investigating, getting estimates and stuff like that. Then we're a step ahead when they decide to come back to a meeting.
And then we can present something, and we can try to do something, you know? I mean,
The good part of this, Mr. Dale, is that there's a quorum in place now.
Yeah.
And decisions can be made. And we value their input and their opinion. We welcome it. But we've got to move on. Like what you're saying, the show goes on, and we have 4 people here that can get that done.
Yeah.
And so we will. That's our promise to you.
And that's all we ask as citizens. We
just-
want to know how y'all are going to spend the money that you got to spend, and we'd like to know, what your dreams are about it.
We want you to
Because
be there. We want you to be there to put input into it.
I've been here since '94, and I'm sick and tired of seeing all of the waste going on.
Well, that's what
The waste and personal agendas have been satisfied by so many people sitting on that council, not y'all.
Well, let's look to the future.
Yeah, let's try to move forward. I mean, I'm hoping that we can get some kind of little something together for the fire station, okay? Maybe with the help of the people that are out there. Go ahead.
No, I agree, like, all this stuff is great, but again, like other people were saying, like, our water bills are astronomical.
I know.
Like, that's something that I would like y'all to do before we even work on that. Does that make sense? Like, that's what affects me.
I'm just gonna tell you, Sherry Mitchell can tell you that she worked endlessly, tirelessly, okay, on trying to get the water bills lower, okay? You pay the same amount on your water bill for water as you do sewer, okay? Now, the city basically charges us half the amount that you're paying for your sewer to go to Beaumont, okay? The gentleman down here on the end, this one, said, we asked if we could lower that, she asked if we could lower that down some. You know, we're trying to get some relief. We're not gonna do away with water bills out here. You're not gonna be $40 a month.
No, but you got to justify why they're so high. They haven't made big improvements on it that weren't paid by a grant. So there's no reason for us to be bearing that burden.
This gentleman's reply was, we need the revenue, okay? So, I mean.
But I had the revenue actually balanced out. I had the ordinance written, I had the fee schedule changed, where it put more of the burden on the commercial properties.
Catherine, I'm just saying that there's been work done. You know,
I mean,
And probably
They can't
we just
justify
haven't seen it, and
I
I
know.
noticed recently, our water, like.
And by putting it off on the commercial properties, that's not fair for the 6 of us that's out here.
Hey,
It's mainly on market, just like the.
I stumbled across. I wasn't told anything about this, but I'll go ahead and tell y'all. I stumbled across on the bills where we paid the people to come out here and work on the chlorine system out here and flush the lines because chlorine was too high. Okay? So I just stumbled across that. Just happened to be there when Jim was there, and he was going over the bills with them. And what is this charge? Well, they came out and they worked on the chlorine system down there. Okay? So we've been telling them, people have been saying that they've had chlorine problems.
You've been telling them.
My dogs don't drink. Okay,
You've been telling them about the chlorine system since the last time you was on city council.
Okay, but you gotta quit doing stuff and not letting people know that you're doing something. Okay? You gotta let them know that, hey man, we did have a chlorine problem out here. Y'all are absolutely right. Okay? And we got somebody out here and we paid them quite a bit of money. Okay, to come out and do whatever it was they did. Nobody oversaw them.
Is it Catherine?
Yes,
Yeah, I'm Jim. I've got a little water plant experience, but what I haven't looked into it in depth yet, but what Bud's talking about is right. They had a problem with the chlorinator injection system, and it looked like, and Bud has found this out, is that the chlorination system works off of a demand feed basis. In other words, if you're wanting water and it's pumping water, then it's feeding chlorine gas into the system as a disinfectant. And there are water requirements that you have to meet and stuff. Sometimes you can be within that limit and still be smelling chlorine, but that's not where you want to be. You know, you don't want to be up here when you can be right here. That was repaired, and that's what he was talking about, and they had to flush the lines to do that. Now, the problem I'm seeing, not just with the water system, is a lack of communication of what's really happening out here, that you can't really find out all your problems on Facebook, although that's a source to do it, but somehow or another, you need
It wasn't on the city of Bellewa's website.
no, that's, well, what I'm getting at.
That's supposed to be our communication.
Somehow or another, there needs to be a better communication of what's going on, and Sherry did some good work early on that. I'm trying to figure out now, there's some things that you just can't do anything about, you know, it's just.
So we're just gonna be stuck with
I'm sorry?
So we're just stuck with 190 water bill, can't drink the water, like we go to the alkaline store in Beaumont and have to buy our water every month.
And you
On
should.
top of paying $197 a month for
Well,
water.
but.
So that's what I'm getting at, like.
No, but I mean, what I'm telling you, if the water is not, potable water, you've got to be notified immediately and.
Right.
But the water is drinkable, it's just, if you choose not to drink it, I mean, bottled water comes out of the ground and up there around Tyler, Ozarka, it's gonna taste better than water comes out of the well down here, that's just the way it is. But
The water that comes out of the well down here tastes fine. We're supposed to put in two parts per million chlorine. We're required by law to have that in there. And then the range is way up here, okay? And then if you go over it, they give you weeks to bring it back down, not days. They give you a big long time frame. Now, if you don't have 2 parts per million or 2 milligrams per gallon, okay, if you don't have that in there, then they only give you like a day to get it in there. You gotta have chlorine in that water to make it safe for the people to drink.
No, but I guess my question is why hasn't, if you said that, oh, well, he said you couldn't do that, Cherry, right? Well, so he makes all the executive decisions about water, like there's a whole council, like that's what
Who's
my
that?
question is.
The
Mullins.
problem is
That's
a
what I'm
lot
trying
of
to figure
the
out.
responsibilities among the city council members gets split.
Um,
It's like if, I think Jim's gonna be doing water, if that's his only task, that needs to be his only task, not everybody else's. But one person do the job and do it well. That's not what was happening. It just got crossed over too much.
But there is some room for lowering, you know, a little bit, but it's still gonna be high.
Yeah, there may be, there's several pieces to that, Bud talked about the sewer and the water. The other piece is that user fee, which is basically playing off.
I had it figured out, Jim, to lower the user fee.
Yeah, it's been lowered from, originally right after Hardy, it was $47.
$39, $40, yeah.
Slowly come down, but that's based on the number of connections. You know, and I mean, we had like 560 connections in Bevil before Hurricane Harvey, and at that time, there wasn't a house for sale out here.
It's not totally based off connections, it's based off the amount of gallons that we pump out of here.
Yeah.
You know, but connections involved.
The user fee is based on connections.
The user fee is based off of the amount of revenue that we have in the pot. Okay, it's not based off connections.
The size of the user fee is based off of how many people are paying into it,
How much money
which are
we
only
got
people
coming
that are living out here, not the
Well,
other
we
property
gotta have-
owners.
The problem is, there's probably 100 less people living out here drawing off the water system. And probably the best they're gonna get back to is maybe 50 in the reasonable future, because a lot of them have been torn down. So that, you know, you've kind of gone on a curve, it's starting to flatten out like this. There may be a couple more dollars you can take off the month, I don't know, Sherry could probably answer that question, because she's done it. The other part is the actual cost of the water that you consume and the cost of the sewer, which is basically what, main cost of that is what we have to pay Beaumont to dispose of it.
50% of the sewer that we collect goes to the city of Beaumont. 50%.
Say again?
50% of the sewer
50%
you
of
collect
what we
goes to
collect
Beaumont.
Goes to the city of Beaumont.
I'm sorry, let me hear Sherry.
50% of what we collect from the citizens goes to the city of Beaumont.
Where's the other 50% go?
In your pocket.
Into the pot for the city of Beaumont, Bevil Oaks to run.
Wait a minute. I'm talking about 50% of the sewer. Maybe this discussion.
Let's say we collect, $100 from him for sewer.
No, I'm talking about volume. I'm not.
No,
Oh,
we're
I
talking
don't know
about
volume off the top of my head. I'm just
Yeah,
giving you-
okay, yeah, I understand that. It's 71.71 goes to Beaumont, because they raise the rates. And they're gonna do it again, I guarantee you, Beaumont's gonna raise the rates again at some point.
Yeah,
They just
because-
raised them in Beaumont.
Because the way the contract is written between Bevil Oaks and Beaumont, it's whenever they raise it, ours goes up automatically. So we need to be ready for that to happen. If not, the city of Bevil Oaks is gonna be in arrears to the city of Beaumont.
Yeah, so look, we've got a little bit of cushion on the sewer side. The other part is, probably there's, I can't say this because I haven't met with a CPA and I don't know where all the revenue comes from, but there's probably a piece of the revenue, of the water charges are revenue. And most smaller cities actually use their water as a source of revenue.
Well,
Now, I don't
Jim,
know whether there's room to whack that or not.
Jim,
Maybe
can I
there's
give you
actually-
a little bit of food for thought?
Yeah.
Before they went high on these water bills, before the city took over the water and it was Beaumont, there hasn't been any significant repairs made to this system. The system's slowly falling apart. They dug a pond that they don't use because we don't have a sewage treatment plant. They haven't repaired that. They raised the control panel to get it out of the water and put a new pump and stuff over there. That was paid for mostly with that grant, correct? Bud?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Okay,
sure.
that was paid for. So why are we bearing a burden for an upgraded system that hasn't been upgraded? That chlorination system is how old, Bud? 50 years old? Yeah.
But replacing that chlorination system, dollar cost is minuscule compared to replacing your sewer lines or putting 6-inch water lines in. the city.
Sure it is.
That could be a cost.
Granted.
You've got to have funds set aside to be able to do that.
Yeah, but they can't have funds set aside when they keep spending like a crazy man.
Well, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that.
These are community items of community interest. You are getting a little far afield.
This is
Of
probably
what
what
the
we've been talking
agenda-
about on the file with the pier, right?
This may be something
Well-
that other citizens would care about and would like to have notice about. So,
Anybody else have
Just,
anything?
it's up to Mr. Mayor.
I wanna make a motion to adjourn.
You can do that.
All those in favor? Aye. So now y'all talk about.
Before you adjourn, can you summarize where you're gonna stand on that? You're gonna look into it or ignore it?